In this section, we're going to learn about data structures, and data structures is a very important concept that you should know how it works and how to use the available data structures given by any programming language. So in the previous course, we've covered arrays. So arrays is a data structure that allows you to store more than one values, right? So if you remember, so if we have basically here integer and then number equals to 1, right? So this variable right here can only hold one number, and if you want to have a way of storing more than one number, so you want to store 2, 3, 4 in the same variable, this is when arrays come into play. So right here, let me go ahead and show you how to create an array. So to create an array is very simple. You simply say int, and then right here you place the square brackets, right? And then numbers, you give a name equals 2, and then new, and then int, and then just like that. Now with arrays, you need to specify the actual size, and I've covered all of this on the previous course. So right here, so let's simply say that we want to store 3 numbers right here, and the way we store numbers is as follows. So let me actually delete this. So now if you want to store number 1, so the cool thing here is now you have, think of it as 3 buckets, right? And the numbers of each bucket, right, they start from 0, right? So remember, right here you simply say 0 and equals to 1, right? And then let me duplicate this 3 times. So here simply say 1 and then 2, and basically let's store, for example, 20 and then 500, right? So you see that the actual array can only hold 3 numbers, right? If you try to add a 4th one, it won't let you. And also the actual index starts from 0, right? So this is bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, right? But you don't start from 1, right? You don't do this. So this is wrong. So they start from 0. So right here, now we have this array, so actually this array, which contains 3 numbers. Now this is the actual long-winded way of doing things. So what you can do instead is, so right here you can simply say that you want these curly brackets, and then 1, and then 20, and then 500, right? So now you are initializing the array, but also adding the actual values right here. So nothing changes here. One thing to bear in mind is that as soon as you finish with your array, so let's have 4 right here, right? As soon as you finish initializing your array, you're not allowed to add, for example, another number. So 50, for example, here, and I'm going to show you in a second. So there you have it. You have this variable right here that contains 4 numbers. Now right here, let's simply log this to the console. So right here, let's simply say south, and then simply say numbers right here. And if I run this, you can see that we actually get this weird number right here, and this is because we need to use a special method, and that is the arrays dot, and basically I need to actually change this class right here. So working with arrays, just like that, and this is because there is a class called arrays, right? So arrays, there we go. And then if I import that, you can see that we have java.util.arrays, and then 2, and then string, and there we go. Now if I run this, you can see that now we have the actual array, right? So this goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, and the size is 4. If you want to loop through this array, right? And then print each number line by line. Simply say 4, and then simply say int, and then number, and then column, and then numbers. And now simply say south, and then number. If I run this, there we have it. You can see that we are printing one by one. So this is one way of looping through the array. Or we have the 4 and then I. So I'm just going to say 4 and then select the I. And right here, so simply say numbers dot and then length. And now I can say south and then arrays, or actually numbers, and then I. So at each index, I'm going to get the actual number. So if I run this, you can see that we have the exact same thing right here. So this is the exact same output, right? So this is the second one, and this is the first one. Oops. So this one right here. Now, one thing that I want to show you is if I try and add, so numbers, and then right here at position 4, if I say equals to and then 700, and right here, let me just simply put this first. So right here, position 4, 400, this should error because we only have space for 3 items inside. Now you saw that errored, and position 5, this will also fail. There we go. And this is because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically only 4 items are allowed inside, right? And the index goes from 0 to n numbers. But if I was to, for example, change the item at position, or actually index 3, which is 4, right? So now I can simply run this, and you can see that we have 700 right here, 700 and 700. So this is the actual last value that we've updated, and it's no longer 4. So these two are the ways that you can loop through arrays, and this is how you print the actual array, so to see the contents and access individual values just like that. So here you saw that we've changed this item, but if I want to access, so south and then the first index, so right here 0, so this should be 1. There we go. So is this guy right here. If I try and access 10, so there is nothing there, this will throw an error, array out of bound index, and there you have it. So this is how you work with arrays. So arrays are nice, but you are limited by the actual fixed size. So that's why you've got some other data structures, which I'm going to teach you in a second. And one more thing before I forget. So right here you saw that int right here. So this is the actual data type of what you want to store, right? So here, so for example here, if I change this to double, right? So now you can see that this affects things. So here is no longer an integer, and it should be a double. If you want to store, for example, characters, you simply say char. If you want to store strings, you simply say string, and then here you change this, right? So basically change everything. So let me go back. So here I want to store integers. That's why I've got int and then brackets. So you're not just limited to whole numbers, but you are limited to anything, including objects. So this is everything about arrays. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop me a message, but don't worry, because I'm going to show you other data structures which are much easier to work with. This off now. Catch me on the next one.